Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome out to AI Intersection. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to, uh, well, I'm going to be showing you basically how you can consistently uh, improve content and repeat the process over and over again in a very consistent fashion. So, if let me just give you a practical example of what we're going to be working on today and why it's important. So, as many of you may or may not know, I'm actually a content writer for a couple of different websites, and this is an article I'm working on for one of the websites that I'm producing content for. This is actually going to be a top 10 list of AI generator 2023. So this list is going to be a rundown list of the top 10 text to video AI generators for 2023. So we'll cover free and premium and all that kind of stuff. The reason why I'm sharing that with you is because in this article, I've got a specific format that I'm going with in this article. I don't know if, let's see here, I can't seem to move up and down the page. Not sure what that's about. Let me just try this real quick. Okay, there we go. So in this article, I have to create kind of a consistent pattern. So I'm gonna have like a title. I'm gonna have an image. I'm gonna have the word summary here. I'm gonna have a paragraph here. I have some pros and cons of this particular item, and then I have a pricing section. Now the pricing section is kind of the focus of today's video. I'll talk about the other ones at another time, but they're going to have a similar tool that we're going to be developing. But the pricing section I want to get to, because I've already kind of gone through all of these. And I guess the important part right now, I keep losing the ability to move that screen. So I think it's just because of this. By the way, what you're seeing on the screen right now is a product called Jasper. Highly, highly recommend Jasper. Jasper is amazing in writing an authorship AI tool that you can use to help you improve your writing skills. So I utilize it for pretty much everything when it comes to writing, authoring, and all that kind of stuff. It has a couple really cool features, which hopefully I'll be able to dive into if I can get the screen to start responding. And it includes this chat feature, which allows you to chat basically endlessly, and that's utilizing ChatGPT 4 API. So you use the ChatGPT 4 engine to produce this chat. And then it has a document editor. It's very similar to Google Docs, that kind of stuff, where you can edit documents and you can cross coordinate between the two. Now, Jasper's chat feature is not as chatty as ChatGPT 4 is, because Jasper's chat engine has been engineered and programmed to specifically focus on the task of authorship. Okay, so that's kind of its forte. Now you can have some type of interactions with it, but it's not going to have the same as a Chat GPT-4, which is more like a broad-based chat system. So, but the cool thing about using Jasper is you get that emphasis on writing and authorship, and the other thing you get to do with this is you're able to use it and it not count against your credits, your token usage on your Chat GPT-4 account. If you're paying $20, if you're paying for the pro account on Chat GPT-4, so you get access to Chat GPT-4, obviously, you know that you have limitations on your usage and that kind of stuff. So you can use up your tokens really fast doing authorship work in Chat GPT-4. So that's what I use Jasper for. I use Jasper because I'm able to work with Jasper, and Jasper is completely separate from my GPT-4 account, and it doesn't touch any of my tokens within ChatGPT-4. Now, within Jasper, you do have a limitation of how much you can use in the actual the document side of it, but they have this chat feature which allows you to chat essentially endlessly, and chat utilizes ChatGPT-4's API. Now that's powerful because you have the most powerful chat chat GPT system in the world, which is arguably Chat GPT-4 at the current time publicly. You have access to that essentially unlimited within Jasper. So if you'd like to try out Jasper, make sure you use the link in the description of this video. that if you appreciate my work and content and you want to help support it, please use that link that shows your love and support for the work and helps me continue doing what I'm doing. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be utilizing Jasper Chat to basically reword a certain section of this document, specifically the pricing section, and make it look a lot better. Now, what do I mean a lot better? Well, there's some changes that we need to make to this particular document. And I'm going to see if I can let me pause the screen sharing just for a moment so I can show you guys something real quick. Oops. Sorry guys, I'm still learning how to utilize this restream tool. So I'm gonna mute the microphone. Okay, so let me quickly switch over to another document so I can show you what we want it to look like and help you understand why what we're doing is important. So basically what we're trying to do here is we want to basically make it so we can easily copy a section and build consistency in our design work. So let me show you what we want it to look like. I have to just hide a couple of things here. Let me just do a snapshot real quick. Sorry guys, this is on the fly. I want to. Okay. Put this in here. And then we're just going to do this. Okay, cool. I'm coming back to you. All right, so. All right, so this is what we want it to look like. We want it to look like this: pricing with a little summary. We want it to be in an unlisted bulleted list. We want to have the title of each package to be in bold, and then we want all the information to be in a consolidated, simple to read list here. Now, then there may be additional sections that we want to do the same thing with, and there may be additional information that needs to be consolidated at the bottom, but this is basically what we're looking for, okay? Now, if we take this and compare it to what we currently have, I'll show you now. Here's what we currently have next to what we want it to look like, okay? So we want this to look like this. Now, traditionally, what would happen before AI systems is I would have to come here and manually retyped all this. I would have to come in here and basically kind of like looked at this and be like, okay, how does this compare? I would have to come in here and retype all of this, but do it in this form. Now you can imagine this process would probably take even under a solid 30 minutes to take this information and make it look like this. But what if there were a way that we could automatically do this process? What AI systems allow you to do, okay? So what we can do is we can prompt our AI system. In this case, it's Jasper. Let me see here. Let me get rid of this little blurb. Oh, by the way, before I do that, this is how I engineered the blurb. Discover the power of AI writing with Jasper. Transform your content process with this incredible tool, perfect for blog posts, social media captions, and more. Shameless plug. Sign up now and experience the magic of AI generated content. So yeah, that's my referral link for Jasper if you want to use it. I would appreciate the love and support if you find this interesting. So let me go ahead and get that out of here. Oh, that's the other cool thing about Jasper Chat is you can hide specific parts of the conversation, so it doesn't confuse the system. So once again, let's get back to the task at hand. What we want to do here is we want to make this text look like this. Now, prior to, as I was mentioning, prior to AI, I would have had to come in here manually and change all this information. And you can imagine how long this would have taken. I wanted to type all this out. I would have had because basically we wanted to kind of have a similar look. What if we could get AI to do this for us? Imagine how much time you could save. Like this would save me an immediate 30 minutes to an hour of my time if I can make this happen. Well, thankfully we can. So all we need to do that now is we need to engineer a prompt to accomplish our goal. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be focusing specifically on replacing specific parts of content. But and I have other videos where I talk about prompt engineering and how my earlier videos where I talk about how I can engineer prompts. I'm going to be releasing several more videos on prompt engineering and talk about some other steps we can do. But for the sake of this video, we're going to be diving right into a direct prompt. What is a prompt? A prompt is any message you send to an AI system that it receives as what's called input. So a prompt could be an image, it could be a text, it could be a voice. However your AI system is set up to receive prompts and inputs, that's what a prompt is. In this case, we're going to be doing a direct prompt. A direct prompt is where you just send a message to the agent. Now, what I could do here is I could just tell it, hey, I want you to take this text. Well, actually, let me take a step back. What we're going to do is we want to say, hey, we want you to take this text and we want you to turn it into this. But how do you do that? Well, here's how we can do it. First and foremost, we could just say, simplify this text. Okay. But if we do that, it's not going to give us the result we want, right? Now, let's just see what it does. If I go simplify this text and I press, and I just were to paste this text, it would not be pretty what we're going to get back. I'll just show you an example. We're going to go and do some prompt engineering here. I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to paste this in here. So if I say simplify this text and put a colon, we may not get great results. So let's just see what we see here. So what Jasper through ChatGPT-4 is doing right now is it's literally just going to simplify this text. Okay. Now this is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but that's not what we wanted, was it? We don't want it to just simplify the text. We want it to give us this text back in a very specific format, which is as we see on the screen here. Now, how do we do that then? Well, let's hide this from the chat. That was pretty much useless. So let's go back. We want to simplify this text. So let's go. So we need to tell it what we want it to look like. But before we do that, we need to make sure that we're communicating well with the system. So what we're about to do is we're about to begin a process of what's called prompt engineering. And prompt engineering is basically using prompts, but in an engineered fashion or in a structured fashion to produce an output. Okay, that's what prompt engineering is. It's creating input in a structured manner that's designed to produce a specific output. Prompt engineering. So here's how prompt engineering looks. So we, instead of just saying, hey, simplify this, we want to say simplify this, colon, enter, parentheses, enter, parentheses. Now, if you look on my screen, this may look complicated, but it's actually not complicated at all. If I delete these lines and delete these lines, you can see what we're saying here. Simplify this, insert text to be simplified. Now, I'm using these little brackets because you don't have to. These brackets are just for annotation. They're just so you can annotate it for your own mind. Now, this as well may look complicated, but if you look at it carefully, it's really not. All we're saying here is, and this is called conversational coding. Okay, so all we're saying here is simplify this, and then we put in parentheses what we want the AI to simplify. And the way this looks when we type it out, if we put it, you don't have to put it in this form, by the way. I put it in this form, in this specific format, one, so that as a human I can read it easily, because this can get very complicated very quick. And then the second reason why I do that is because it actually does help the AI understand your intentions better. You have to remember, AI systems, as far as we can tell, even though nobody will say this, as far as we can tell, they're just like you and I. They're intelligent organisms in some capacity. They've got hardware components instead of biological components, but they're very similar to us in that respect. So you want to interact with it in the best way that communicates not only with humans but with it. So you have to find a balance, and this is what we call conversational coding. All conversational coding is taking normal language and structuring it in a way that organizes it. Here's what I mean. If you look at my screen right now, I have here this should say simplify this, colon, parentheses, and there we go. So I'm going to say, now all we're going to do then is I'm going to hold shift, press enter, click here, press enter, click here, and press enter. Now you can see what we looked at before. Hopefully that makes a little more sense now. So simplify this, and then in parentheses. Okay. Now, if we put that, what's going to happen? Well, actually, before we do this, I want to take this out, and I want to put this in my prompt library. Now, this is a prompt library. A prompt library is store your engineered prompts. So that's an engineered prompt. So that prompt right there is a cool little engineered prompt where I could use this for other purposes. You could imagine, let's say somebody sends me something and they want me to simplify it. I could just take this, copy it, essentially save this as a prompt. Now, there are third-party applications where you can save your prompts. I just prefer to use a spreadsheet right now because I haven't really found a third-party application that I like for saving my prompts yet. They all have their own downsides. And most of their downsides have to do with the fact that they're tied to a specific program or business or application. So if you decide to no longer use them anymore, how are you going to get all your prompts back? I just prefer to save it in a spreadsheet. It makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to, this is going to be prompt title. We're going to put in paste here. So for the title, we're just going to call this particular engineer prompt, we're going to call it simplification prompt. And this is going to be use this to simplify to ask agent to simplify something. Okay, and then I'm just going to double click in this box here and paste that there. So now you see I have this really cool little prompt that we've engineered that we can use as a prompt template that we can use. So this is an introduction of what we'll call prompt templates right here. So what we want to do now is let's go back here. So let's go back to Jasper Chat. So going back here, we now have our prompt template, which just simply says simplify this. Now, if I take this section here that we want to simplify, because remember our goal here, we want it to look like this, but we don't have to type it all ourselves and redo all that stuff. We want the AI system to do that for us. When we come back here, if we just put this here, what output, if I paste that in here, you can see where I pasted. We have our simplify this, open parentheses, comment, and then close parentheses. If I were just to send this, what output do you think we're going to get? Well, we're pretty much going to get the exact same output that we got last time, because the output's going to be, now remember, it's never going to be exactly the same, but it's pretty much the same. Okay, it's going to give us a little, and it obviously I did a great job of simplifying this. However, it's not accomplished our goal, which is we want it to output to look like this. So what we have to do is we have to add some information to our engineering template. So let's tell it to this, and let's tell it to forget this. Let's go to library. Let's copy this, our prompt, and let's come back to Jasper. So obviously we need to give it more information. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, and let me go ahead and get this back in this format here so it makes sense to everybody who's watching. So simplify this, but we need to add some information. Okay, and what information is that? Well, I've already created another template for this, so I'm going to show you what I came up with so you can see what we have. So it says, I need you to simplify this. And we're going to pull this back over here. This is what I already created. I'm actually going to update this to make it look a little nicer. Insert text to be simplified. Okay. All right. So basically, I just need to go in here and update my. I'm going to update this template real quick just to reflect this. Okay. So here's the engineered template I came up with. I need you to simplify this. Now, that's the first part. Then it says, for the unordered list, shorten them down to a single bullet point for each using this format. So this isn't going to be great because this particular item this worked well for another article I was working on that I created this prompt with. But the problem we're going to have, I can go ahead and tell you right now, is if we use this template, it may not give us the right breakdown of what we want. So what I like to do is I like to consider what it is we actually want here. So let's go through this together and see if we can come up with a template that will convert this or anything similar to this. Now, remember, you have to be specific enough in your description to get this output, but not so specific that it can't handle any variance. Okay, what we want to do is utilize the AI's and intuitive abilities to use intuition to apply principles to its outputs. Here's a practical example. Now I have already created this one that I engineered, but what we want to do is we want to just make a few tweaks to it because this particular uh, pricing break group section for this article that I'm dealing with doesn't have any bullet points at all. So we want to make sure, let's take a look at what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve this. Okay. So what we can do is we can say, I'm going to make this like this. Let me go ahead and bring this all up for us so we can work on it. Okay, so I need you to simplify this, quotations, and with a period. For the for any packages, list them in an ordered list. Oh, I'm sorry. List them in an unordered list. So I'm an unordered list. Shorten them down to a single bullet point for each using this format. Okay. Now, the format I gave it is I wanted to show it as name. Now, this may look strange to some of you guys who've never done any coding before, and it may seem intimidating like I'm doing coding, but I assure you, I'm not doing coding here. Okay. All I'm doing here is saying to the computer, hey, this space right here, this is where you're going to put whatever the name is of the package. It can be enterprise plan. It can be, every website got their own, like this starter plan, whatever the name of the package is, we want the AI system to read this, find the name of any packages and use and put those name and use that to create its output. So so what we're telling it is, hey, give it to us in this format, name. And that's the same as saying, imagine if I just took out those things, name. But that wouldn't make sense to the computer, or to anybody who's reading it, would it? But if we put here, we can even put insert name, package name. Okay, so typically, if it doesn't make sense to a human, it's not going to make sense to an AI system. So we want to say insert package name offers several, and we want it to specifically say offers several pricing options. Um, and we want it to say bullet, and then we want it to have a bullet point. We want it to have the plan name. Oh no, this is the we need to leave this as name. Sorry, see, I almost messed it up. So name offers several. So the name of the plugin that we're referring to offers several pricing options: bullet point, plan name, detail 1, detail 2, etc. Close parentheses. Okay. So now notice I haven't told it about anything else. If there's other information, maybe it needs to fit it in some other way or within this constraint. But we're at least telling it some specifics that we want outputted as an output. Okay. Remember, our goal here is we want this clump of text to look like this when we're done. And this is how it happens. So I'm going to take this because I think this is looking really nice. And I'm going to take this back to my prompt library. I'm going to update this because this is a lot better than the one I already created. Now, what we could do is we could come in and use a power prompt to even engineer this further, but this is a pretty well structured prompt as it is. It's pretty clear. So let's try it out and see if we get the output that we're hoping to get. So let's come here. We're going to paste this into. Oh, before we do that, let's go ahead and clean this up. Let's actually make this look correct. I like to make sure that we have our formatting in a specific structured format, because once you start pasting stuff in here, it can really get convoluted very quick. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to make sure to update our prompt here. Like that's something where I want. So I like that structured look because, like I said, once we start pasting in information here, it's going to become a little cluttered, and this will help. This is the reason why I build out my templates in this fashion, because I want to be able to follow the flow even if it gets really cluttered. Imagine if I'm taking multiple things, copy and paste from different sources and dropping it in here. I want to be able to scroll up and down and kind of see the structure of the message, the prompt I'm sending. So once again, let's start from here. I need you to simplify this. Okay. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste in here. Control Shift V, or paste without formatting, is very important here. So here we go. I need you to simplify this. For any packet, and there's a period here, by the way. For any packages, list them in an unordered list. Shorten them down to a single bullet point for each using this format. Okay, so I'm giving it the format I want it to return me into. So hopefully, if all goes well, when we get our output is going to look something like this. So let's see. And let's click on send. Oh, look at that. So now I say that looks phenomenal. It's simplified. It follows a very specific structure that we wanted to go for output here. Same thing, and boom. Look how beautiful that is. That is exactly what we wanted to happen. Why is this important? Why not? Why go through all that headache if just told it and just returned it to us? Now, let me go ahead and let me show you. So I'm going to copy this message now, and we're going to go ahead and paste this in here. And look how much better this is going to look, guys. I'm going to press Control Shift V. Oops, sorry. Control. Let's do a regular paste in here. Control V. Looks so much better, so much more professional. That's what we want. Nice and clean. Now, here's why this is so important. Because in this particular document that I'm working on right here that you see on the screen, that's not the only place I have that pricing section in this article. I have that same pricing section in multiple places on this document. So, and actually, what was that one that we just did? Let's see. That was, you can see, look, all the pricing and packages sections, they're all messed up. So that was for Glia. Glia Cloud. Okay. So this is one we just happened to be on right here. See, now look, now check this out. As I scroll up and down, I got so many more sections. I got an article, I got a part of the article on Synthesia. Look, another pricing section. Not looking good. That needs to be fixed. Another section over here on the next article for Steve AI. Steve AI, look at the pricing section. Not good. Okay, fix that one too. We need to fix all these pricing sections. So how do we do it? Well, because we have built a template, now we can exponentially increase our efficiencies. So let me open the chat mode for a second. Okay, so now what we can do is we can say something like this. Well, I don't know if that's, once again, my let's start at the top. Let's start with our first article. First one was Glia. So the next one is Synthesia. This is a part of the article I wrote on Synthesia. By the way, I did a whole walkthrough tutorial on how to build your own AI avatar videos, so you can have AI avatars read scripts for you. Very powerful. That's gonna be released on Envato Plus, on the Envato Plus blog, so you'll be able to see that whole article. But we need to do the same thing with this. So now because of how we've done, actually, let me fix this real quick while I'm looking. That needs to be an H2. Okay. So we have our pricing section here. Let's do the same thing, but this time, instead of having even put the template, maybe we can just put do the same with this one. Colon, parentheses, paste, parentheses. Now I'm not even going to use a template. I'm just going to say do the same thing with this one and see what it does. Boom. Look at that. So now what we're doing is we're producing consistent, repeatable output results using an AI template. This is extremely powerful because you can use this across systems, you can use this between systems, and you can use this to improve systems. So I'm going to come here and go paste. Now, I noticed that there's an issue I keep having here. I keep having to press to delete this space underneath the summary. We may want to fix that. So because that way we don't have to keep repeating that process. Obviously, it's something I had to do twice now. So what we want to do is we want to come in here to this template. We want to say, I need you to simplify this for any packages. So here I'm going to put, oops, I'm going to put this over here because I can't really do enters on this. So I'm going to just say in here, say, simplify this. Do not have an extra space under the summary. Section. I don't know what this line is called. I don't know how to say that. I don't want to deal with that in this video. We'll just do the enter for now, just because I don't want to focus on keeping it a little simple for today's video. So we got Glia. That's fine. We can press enter one time. That's with all the time we're saving on this editing by doing this process is we can handle pressing the enter button one time. So let's go ahead and take this for pricing and packages, and I'm going to go ahead and put that here. Go ahead and have it simplify. Actually, we don't need that. Let's go ahead and do the same with this one. Parentheses, shift enter, parentheses, enter. Okay, we're going to go copy. I'm going to take that here and paste. Look how much better this is going to look, guys. Control, oops. Control, always press the wrong button there. Control V. Boom. Look how nice and clean that looks. Didn't have to reorganize it, didn't have to type it, just had to engineer it. Now, before we move on, I do want to ask Jasper something. Jasper, what would you call the first line of your response? See, I don't know if Jasper can answer these questions like that. The first and last lines of your above response, your last response. The first line of our last response can be referred to as an introductory statement or a summary, while the last line can be called a concluding statement or a final remark. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a change to our template by using this information. Control cut. I don't know what this is going to do, but hopefully it works. I need you to simplify this. Do not add a new line below the introductory or above the concluding. I don't know. Maybe I should have a line above those. Maybe this is the way it should look. I'm just, maybe we should ask Jasper. Can you help me understand if we should have the new line below the introductory line and above the conclusion line. It looks strange to me, but I'm not sure what the correct format should be. Certainly, in a professional format, it's common to have an introduction line followed by main content bullet point. Helps to provide clear structure to your text. Here's an example. Introductory statement. By separating introduction and conclusion from the main content. Okay, so we're going to stick with that. Okay, so that's fine. So now this is a great example why you want to use your developed prompt templates, because by the way, did I share my screen? Cool. Awesome. So this is a reason why you want to use prompt templates, because now and I'm going to come back here. We're going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and fix this now while we're thinking about it. I kind of didn't realize that was the best course of action. I'm going to trust the AI system knows best. What do you guys think? No space or space? I don't know. I also seem to remember being told when I was growing up that you're supposed to put two spaces after a period for a new sentence, but apparently that's not correct either. All right, so let's take a look now. Pricing and packages for Steve AI. Now, this is a great example of why prompt templates are so powerful. Because if I were to say Jasper AI, I was supposed to say, go ahead and try this. It wouldn't know what I'm talking about, right? It may know what I'm talking about, but the output's not going to be as quality. Let's just try it out and see what it does. Okay, so it's staying on task pretty well. But what we may notice is that there are some slight differences in the way it presents the data. And we want to be careful of that. We want to be careful like that we're not getting off track, because those little changes can make all the difference in your long-term outputs. So we want to make sure we stay consistent, because remember, AI systems are just like human operators. They get distracted. They think about other things. Yeah, they're able to multitask very effectively, but they're not like gods. They have limitations to themselves. And so we have to keep that in mind. So it's sometimes good to take your template out, throw it back in there, and make sure that we're using the template one more time. But it looks like that Jasper is doing a great job of remembering what we asked it to do. And that is the power of using prompt engineering. You can sufficiently, you can very effectively increase the quality and consistency of the results you're getting from AI systems by using prompt engineering principles. Now, let me show you. Let's go ahead and do the next one. So this is another part of the article that I wrote on deep brain AI. Okay, so now, of course, I'm going to go through all this and redo this, but what we're doing right now is a creative process where we're using the AI systems to help guide our authorship process. And then we go through and we're able to make adjustments to those articles and work through them and use the structure that we build together to produce our final output. So let me go ahead and go back to Jasper and say, try this one, or say, let's do this one in a similar fashion. Now you can see how that wording can begin to morph the response of the the system of the responses, because what you're basically saying is, hey, that last one's really good, let's redo it similar to that. And the content is going to get adjusted to not only the very first instance you gave, but all the ones in between, including all the small minor tweaks and changes, which may include uh, shortening things up more and more. You make it to the point where if you do this over 50 cycles, you may get nothing close to the original results, and you'll be like, "Dang, where did that go off?" Well, it went off every step of the way. It's like evolution; it slowly evolved and slowly changed over the course of the article. That's why it's good to use prompt engineering templates, because prompt engineering templates keep your input and output consistent and help you build consistency in your system. Um, if you ever had an AI system kind of they just kind of go off the rails, it happens over a period of cycles for that to happen. You basically lead it that way. You make it go crazy. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to paste this here, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and change this because I know that doesn't look right. Should say pricing. Okay, so we're going to keep going down this list. So what I'm going to do is go back to my prompt library. I'm going to out this prompt, just go ahead and just have it. And we're going to go ahead and just paste it here. And then we're going to take the pricing package and put it here. Okay. Here we go. Replace this with this and enter. So we're getting it back on track and making sure we're staying consistent, because we want all these sections in this article, no matter how many we have, to be consistent, to have this feel and structure. And now you can see how powerful this is. It's taking this little tiny section and now it's going to expound on it. So copy this out and we're going to paste this here. Okay, so now let's keep moving along. But yeah, so that's how this works. I'm going to keep going down this article and working through it with that method. But I want to share with you guys this very powerful method uh, of prompting called prompt engineering, and specifically engineering prompt engineering templates to help you build consistency in your outputs from your AI system. And you can use this in all sorts of applications. You can use this for video, you can use it for audio, you can use it for all the different things you're working on, and you're trying to figure out a way to get more consistency out of your outputs. This is how you do it. You use templates that focus on the incorporation of conversational coding. Okay, so all you're doing is you're using language, the same language used all the time, but you're just adding a little bit of extra structure to it, to structure it so the AI system has a clear understanding of what your intentions are. Now, sometimes our best intentions can still go awry because we may not be able to properly relay information that gets the message across. Now, for instance, let's say I couldn't figure out what I was getting wrong with that. There's a process that we call power prompting, where you basically take an AI system and have it engineer a prompt for you. I'll have another video on power prompting and how that works, but this is a really good starter for you guys to kind of get your feet wet working with this type of system. So we went over a lot today's video. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. If you did, please give me a like, thumbs up, give it a share, and yeah, reach out to me if you need help with anything prompt engineering, AI integrations, development, conversational coding. I offer coaching, consultations. I offer one individual and group/team training. So Maybe you have a business out there and you want to get your employees utilizing ChatGPT and GPT systems in the workflow, and you'd like to see productivity increases. I can do group training both virtually and in person. We can do training in person. We can talk about how to integrate AI systems. We can work on integrations into call centers, integrations into data processing centers, and help you with all those integrations as well. But prompt engineering is a great way to kind of get your feet wet, understanding how the AI systems work and how they interact, and how you can develop consistent outputs from your systems. So I hope you got a lot out of today's video. If you did, please make sure to check out the links in the description of today's video. Of course, like, share, and subscribe. And if you're going to get Jasper, which I highly recommend, use my link in the description of the video. So just a few shameless plugs. Until next time, everybody, happy coding.